Morning, guys. So it's finally a sunny day here in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We've hit the middle of the week in the life spring version. Today is Wednesday. It's been a busy morning so far. In the morning, caught up with the study group for a class I'm doing in MIT, which is around scaling life science ventures. We've got a midterm assignment that is due today. So we were just having a quick catch-up call to align on that. And that's a class I have later this evening. Finished that, went to the gym for a good workout, and then also had a call with our real estate team on some ongoing projects and some content that we've recorded for that. So that should be also released soon. This is one of our latest projects. We'll be converting this property from a residential dwelling into an 8-unit development. Watch this space. Also today in the morning, we publicly launched the YouTube channel on LinkedIn as well, and received some really nice feedback and messages. So that's also a nice milestone to celebrate. Now on the way to class, today on Wednesday mirrors Monday's schedule. So we're talking about moral leadership again and public ethics. Today the topic is around grief and anger and how we can channel and use those emotions to lead effectively. And after that, have a couple of meetings in university and then heading over to MIT for the next class. So eventful day, and we'll share how we get on.
So don't forget those. Wonderful session. And also, just a reminder as we...
So that was the moral leadership class done for today. It was a great discussion today. It was around grief and how grief is an emotion that can be used in a powerful way and something that shouldn't be suppressed and actually used as an emotion or a tool that can be reflected on to figure out some of life's bigger meanings, if that makes sense. So yeah, really good discussion, quite emotional to a certain extent. But yeah, it was really, this particular class, moral leadership, it talks about emotions and things that we can convey as leaders that I'm not necessarily that comfortable with expressing. I'm someone who typically prefers expressing more positive emotions and everything else less so, because I don't think it's as useful. But this class in this semester, moral leadership and ethics, has really opened my eyes up to the power of emotions that can be deemed negative in certain scenarios, like anger or grief or sadness. But these emotions can actually be used as very powerful tools to convey messages, to process challenges, and to also move forward collectively. Now I'm having a very short and quick lunch break, and the plan is to finish off this assignment for my MIT group today. Hopefully I can share more about that class as we go on through the day today on Wednesday. After submitting this group project on behalf of our group, we have on Wednesday afternoons a meeting with the teaching team. So this is part of the course that I help to teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We meet together as a team with the professor to talk about how the discussions in class are going. Is there anything that we need to do more of or less of? Which students are participating well and which ones we need to potentially keep an eye on and to give some additional support. So it's a nice way to catch up with the professor and the rest of the teaching team and share our reflections on how the teaching is going. So that particular element was not something that I had been exposed to in the previous semester, but this semester, being part of the teaching team for this particular course has been really eye-opening. So have that team meeting, and then we'll be heading over to MIT for the final class of today, which is from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday evening, but more on that class later. Right, guys, so this is a different surrounding where I've not recorded before. Right now I'm sat in MIT, which stands for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So it's another very famous university here in Boston. For those that haven't heard of it before, it's abbreviated down into a name MIT. During this semester, I'm actually cross-registering at MIT for a course called Strategic Decision-Making in Life Science Ventures. It's all about life sciences, so biotechs, and how companies make decisions in terms of which types of projects that they invest in. From an investor perspective, which type of companies and pipelines and portfolios do investors look at as well? and then also ultimately how many patients can be impacted by certain drugs through its trial design, primary endpoints, target population. And this course, what's so good about it is that it's taught by practitioners. So, two professors who have built biotechs, invested in biotechs, exited biotechs, and actually do this as a service for the next generation to teach them everything that they know, as well as working through multiple real life case studies. So, really enjoying this course. What's great also about this experience of cross registering at MIT, what I wasn't aware of when I applied for this program, and now after being here, once you're in the Harvard ecosystem, you're able to apply for courses within MIT and also vice versa. So, being a Harvard student, it's been great because as part of my degree anyway, I've been able to cross register at the Kennedy School for Policy, the business school, the law school, the medical school. But as well as that, we also get access to MIT courses, which has been a very positive surprise. And this is why I'm actually here today, because on Wednesday evenings, we have the MIT class for life science ventures. So today is actually also extra special because we've got the opportunity to interview the professor, Professor Jonathan Fleming. And this will be one of our special interview episodes that we'll be releasing on this channel as well as a separate video. So today's class will be very interesting as we're doing a negotiation in the class today. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Right, guys, so that is the classes done for Wednesday. That was a great class today in the strategic decision making and life science class here at MIT. Today's exercise was a negotiation exercise. The class was split into mini groups, and each group was representing a biotech company. And then we had to negotiate with a larger player, negotiation terms on a specific product that we were looking to transact on. So we had lots of different variables that we could consider. There was an upfront payment, milestone payment, percentage of revenue, who's going to manufacture, who's going to develop, how do we share the costs. And our group had the best outcome. So that was really positive, and it was a really good discussion and negotiation exercises with the life science focus. So now it's 8:30 p.m. here at MIT. It's been a very long day. We also got to interview the professor before class today, so hopefully that video is released at some point as part of our interview series. I am absolutely exhausted right now, so looking forward to going home and getting an early night. So thanks again for tuning in on this Wednesday, and looking forward to sharing more soon. So we are back now. It's Thursday afternoon. It's been a long day. Finished the teaching part of today, which was in negotiation and leadership. Great class, lots of engagement from the classroom. Finished that and then had lunch with a group where we are working on a group project. In this particular group project, it's pretty interesting. We have to imagine that a law is being proposed, and we are on one side of the law arguing against the bill being proposed versus the other side who will be arguing for this bill to be agreed. So really interesting discussion, learning a lot about the US Constitution, the legal frameworks, the judicial frameworks. And yeah, just a perspective that I wasn't really aware of. And the idea is really to be prepared for negotiations and understand the other side's perspective and what arguments they could bring into the discussion. So that was a really productive meeting with the group. After that, met up with a HBS, so Harvard Business School MBA student who's also looking to learn more about the biotech world as well. So I was sharing some of the experience I've had in the past working in Switzerland, Japan, and Europe, and also on the entrepreneurial side. So that was a really nice discussion, and those are the types of conversations where you realize how the experience that you have can be really valuable to others, and also learning from them about their experience as well. Now we're in the middle of the afternoon here on Thursday, still at Harvard, as you can see from the background from this empty classroom. Today we're going to be recording a few intro videos for a new YouTube series, which I think by the time this has come out will be already middle of that series where we interview different professors and fellows here at Harvard. Today we've got the opportunity to do a sit-down interview with Sir Robert Buckland, who's the former Justice Secretary from the UK. So I'll be asking him questions about, for people who are interested in politics, how do you enter? Once you're in politics, how do you manage the competing priorities from different groups when you're right in the middle of it? And then also a couple of leadership questions as well. So it should be a really great interview. Once that interview is locked in and done, we'll then be heading back to my apartment, packing up and getting ready to fly back to London tonight. I think I mentioned in one of these videos, since coming to America last summer, the routine is basically to fly back to the UK every 3-4 weeks. most importantly, to see my family, see my wife, but also catch up on our real estate projects that are ongoing or coming to an end. This weekend is quite exciting because we finished on the completion of our next acquisition. So we'll be going to view the property and pick up the keys for that. And as well as that, we've got a couple of renovations that are also ongoing. So just to check in and see how we're getting along with that as well. So yeah, will be a busy weekend. So looking forward to recording as much of it as possible. So for now, I've got another few things to do on my laptop before we record the interview with Sir Robert, and then I'll be on my way to the airport shortly after that. So I'll keep you posted as we go through this week.
I think the message I have for people is your greatest challenger is yourself. But having self-doubt and having that sort of imposter syndrome, as I call it, is actually a very, very useful ally because it spurs you on to be your best, to be at your best, and to perform at your best.
Right, guys, so finally at the airport, very busy but productive Thursday done. Really glad that we were able to get the interview with Sir Robert Buckland, who is a fellow at Harvard. So hopefully by the time this video is released, it's either already released, that interview, or about to be released. So it's a really good interview, so I hope you check it out. Now at the airport, as already mentioned, I'm flying back to London this weekend to catch up with family and also check on some of our real estate ongoing projects and also a new acquisition that we've done. Normally when I fly back to London, I try and catch the flight on Thursday night. So right now it is 7:15 p.m. on the Thursday. Catch the flight at either 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. on Thursday nights, which means that I get to sleep on the flight and then wake up the next morning when I land in London, which normally gives me a full day on the Friday to catch up, rest, and yeah, just have some downtime with the family. So looking forward to the flight. We'll try and grab a bite at the lounge here in the Boston International Airport. Shout out American Express Platinum. If you're watching this, please sponsor me. I've been a customer since 2019 and I've rinsed your lounge priority pass. So hopefully you can keep giving me some extras. Anyway, that was a side note. So yeah, looking forward to the flight. Normally try to not eat anything on the nighttime flights to try and get as much sleep as possible so I can wake up tomorrow in London as refreshed as possibly. See you when I land in London. Right, guys, that was a very long flight. All done. Landed at Heathrow Airport. It's a really nice day today. I was able to get some good sleep as well on the flight. So just looking for my cab, and then we'll be heading back home. So yeah, nice to be back. Good sleep on the flight, and looking forward to a good, productive couple of days back home in the UK, while also catching up with family. So we'll record what we can. Right, guys, so I'm back in the UK. Yesterday, finally landed. Got a cab back to my home here in the UK. Yesterday was really nice as I had the opportunity to catch up with some of my friends that I grew up with and my cousins, and we had all the wives and kids together and we caught up over dinner. And there's also been a new baby that has arrived within the group, so it was really nice to see the new baby boy in that group for the first time. It's difficult for us all to be together at the same time, but we actually made it work this time, which was really good. And then the other thing is today the plan is to catch up on some of our real estate projects. So we have one that's in the middle of development. We have another couple where we had the tenants moving out. So we are using that as an opportunity to fully renovate the property, especially the ones that haven't had any work done to them for a few years. And then the other exciting thing is that we've just picked up the keys for our next acquisition as well. So it's a busy week. Perfect actually to come back to check on the team and how we're getting along with everything. And then I'm hoping that I can share some clips of some of those visits and catching up on the project. So yeah, once that's all done, we'll be back home chilling and getting ready to head to the airport on Sunday and then fly back Sunday night to land in Boston Sunday evening and then start a new week. So yeah, I'll share some clips that we take throughout the next couple of days with the property visits, and then yeah, hopefully share an update with you when we get back to the airport. Right, guys, so I've arrived in Heathrow Airport, heading back to Boston shortly. So, yeah, that's the week completed. We had some really good real estate visits. All the projects that are ongoing are ahead of schedule. And we have a few properties where we had tenants coming in and out. So the team has done a great job getting those renovated and back on the market and refilled within 3 weeks. And we also exchanged in another deal as well this week as well. So it's been a very productive visit. And then, yeah, now back in Heathrow, Sunday, 5:30 p.m. We'll be catching the 6 p.m. flight from Heathrow back to Boston. And that's the full week done. So this time versus the last video, I wanted to show a bit more in terms of studying here in the spring and then also the weekends whenever I go back to the UK. And I think now this version of Week in the Life hopefully is showing you the other element of my business, which with the previous clips, we've been able to show some of the new acquisitions that we've done, as well as the renovations and some of the turnarounds as well. So I hope this week in a life has been helpful. Hopefully it shows you what it looks like if you were to study at Harvard and manage a business full-time on the other side of the world. I've really enjoyed this series. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. I think now I'm just going to board the flight. I normally stay awake throughout the flight. So then when I land in Boston, which will probably be around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Sunday night in Boston, I can get to bed and get my full 7-8 hours of sleep and then start the week fresh tomorrow on the East Coast of America. So thank you guys for the support. Thank you for the likes, the subscribes. Hopefully this video has been useful. Let me know in case you want to see any more of these style videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.